Evaluators. Evaluators is in the core of Root Signals platform. We have two types of evaluators. One is root evaluators, where we have out-of-the-box ready-made tens of well-created, well-tuned metrics for all kinds of use cases. You can simply run them from here with the execute button, or of course through our API, Python or TypeScript SDK, or even with our model context protocol server. So essentially, our evaluators work in two ways. One, first, they of course evaluate an LLM response in terms of a score between 0 and 1. For example, let's say you built an chatbot for handling incoming applications for your company. So if the applicant asks, where can I apply for this position, and your LLM responded, you can find the application details, let's say application process details, from our carriers page. And you would like to of course measure this response in terms of helpfulness and in terms of all sorts of other metrics, and this is not that helpful. So that was the other thing. We don't only give the score, but we also give the justification for this score, why this specific execution got this score. And you can get this in SDK, in API. This is all of our executors return format. Now, of course, you want to be able to go and look at what has been run before. So then we go to our monitoring view. You can find exactly what has been run, what has been sent, and what has been evaluated, and the results. Of course, you can also export these results. So this is our root evaluators. They have also a feature called calibration test. So here, to be able to trust if this evaluator that Root Signals provides works as expected, you can run a calibration to see if it is actually working as you would expect. Let's say reading is, and there are a bunch of already ready-made test sets for this evaluator to see if the working principles and the behavior of these out-of-the-box evaluators are calibrated to your expectations. So you want this text to be evaluated in a certain score, but our evaluator evaluated in some other score and all that, and you can see the deviation, and you would like this average deviation as low as possible. And as you can see, this is really low compared to your expectations, so this evaluator is very well calibrated. Of course, you can bring more test data to run these evaluations of the evaluator. Now we have also demonstrations. These are the examples in context samples that go to this evaluator to also tune its behavior, which is different than the test set, because test set, the model doesn't see these cases. It's simply a test for this evaluator. Now the other category of evaluator we have is a custom evaluator. So of course we provide a lot of out-of-the-box evaluators, but all kinds of applications require custom logic. Let's say you are building a medical application, and you want to measure the medical jargonness of your LLM responses. You want to maybe talk a bit more medical jargony way to a doctor, and you want your LLM to have less medical jargon when it's responding to a patient and things like that. And here you can create a custom evaluator, and we have a couple of out of the box. And the format of a custom evaluator, of course, it has a name of it, but also it has a thing called objective. So this is what you want this evaluator to behave like. So you have a high level intent, and you can bring a couple of sample examples. For example, This is your expected score out of this text in terms of medical jargonness, and this is your other sample. You can of course edit this. You can bring more stuff. You can load the data from the data sets you have already uploaded, and you can also synthetically increase the diversity and the number of samples of this by clicking these generate diverse and generate similar buttons. Now, once you define your objective, you would like to explain what is the scoring criteria, and this is your instructions, and it can be simple text such as evaluate the medical jargon, and that's it. Or you can have an elaborate long chain of thought kind of instruction here, and the response is the variable this is your LLM response, the variable you are evaluating. And if you want to also guide the evaluator with some examples, you can add demonstrations, just like similar to test set. The difference is that this will change the behavior of the evaluator. Now, of course, you would like to choose a model to power this evaluator. You can choose different models just to test the performance of these evaluators, these models, in terms of the test set. And you can see that, okay, deviation is more or less the same, but Gemini 2.5 flashlight is much cheaper than GPT 4.1 mini, and it's also twice as fast. So you can inspect these test results and choose, hey, maybe you'll go with Gemini to power this evaluator. This custom evaluator you created, which measures the medical jargonness, and you can execute this evaluator once again from here, or simply with a couple of lines of code in any application and any framework you are building your applications with. Yes, so this is, and of course you can look at the past executions of this evaluator in the monitoring view. So this is our evaluator view of Root Signals platform.